Life has a way of hitting you with no warning, like a freight train you didn't see coming. One moment, you're just trying to get through the day. The next, the world shows you its teeth. That's exactly what happened to me at 38,000 feet when a flight attendant's slap across my face echoed through the first class cabin of Legacy Airlines, silencing everyone. In that stinging moment, my entire life, my mother's voice, the streets of Detroit, everything I'd fought for crystallized into a single, pulsing truth. Brenda Parker's sneer, "Your kind doesn't belong here," burned, but it didn't break me. It lit a fire. Let me backtrack. I grew up on Detroit's east side, where cracked sidewalks and corner hustles shaped you. My mother, Eloise, was my anchor, tough, radiant, unrelenting. She worked two jobs, her hands calloused, to keep us fed and proud. At 37, when I signed a $14 billion deal to buy Legacy Airlines, no amount of wealth erased those roots. Mom's words were my compass. Character is what you do when no one's watching. That's why, even as the CEO of Sphere, the tech giant I built from a coding project in my tiny apartment, I stayed grounded. When I acquire a company, I don't sit in boardrooms. I ride its planes incognito to see the truth no PowerPoint can hide. 5 days before that flight, I lost mom to cancer. Grief was a fist in my chest as I boarded Legacy's Atlanta-bound plane for her funeral. Dressed in jeans and a navy blouse, I wore only one piece of jewelry, a diamond pendant with her picture, a promise to carry her with me. At 37, I'd fought for every inch of success. I knew how the world treated black women, investors dismissing me, security trailing me in high-end stores, clerks demanding proof I belonged. Mom's mantra kept me steady. Success is revenge, but kindness saves your soul. I just wanted a quiet flight to gather myself before saying goodbye. But from the moment I stepped on board, I felt the chill. Brenda Parker, the head flight attendant, smiled warmly for everyone but me. "Economy boards at the rear," she snapped, eyeing my ticket like it was a forgery. In first class, she poured champagne for the Rolex-wearing businessman across the aisle, but ignored my request for water. No pillows, no warm towels, nothing. When I pressed the call button, she leaned in, venom in her voice. "The blankets are for real first-class passengers." I stayed calm, asking politely. She doubled down, questioning my seat, my reservation, my right to be there. Then, in a whisper meant only for me, "We both know you don't belong here." I reached for my boarding pass to shut her up. That's when it happened. Her hand cracked across my face, the sound ricocheting through the cabin. "Your kind doesn't belong here," she said, loud enough for everyone to hear it. In my cheek burned. And for a split second, I was a kid again, watching mom swallow tears in a Detroit grocery line when someone called her less than human. But I'm not that kid anymore. I grabbed my phone, ready to change everything. The captain's voice crackled. "We're returning to the gate." Whispers erupted. Some passengers looked horrified, others smug, like my humiliation was their entertainment. A young Latina woman behind me, Emily Rodriguez, leaned forward. "Are you okay?" she whispered, handing me a tissue. Then she showed me her phone. She'd recorded everything. The slap, the words, the ugly truth. Brenda strutted down the aisle, triumphant. "Security will escort you off. Assaulting a flight attendant is a federal offense." "You slapped me," I said, voice steady. She smiled. "And who'll they believe?" I dialed my assistant, Valencia. "Tell Charles Thompson, regional manager, to meet this flight at the gate. Jasmine Winters requires his immediate attention. Brenda's face paled. My name hit her, but not hard enough. When the plane docked, security rushed aboard, but so did Charles, mid-50s, corporate polish hiding his panic. He locked eyes with me. Ms. Winters, I am so sorry. Brenda tried to spin her story, but Charles cut her off, trembling. You have no idea who this is. Brenda, you just assaulted the CEO of Sphere, and as of this morning, the owner of Legacy Airlines. Gasps rippled through the cabin. Brenda's mouth opened, but no words came. I own this plane, I said, standing, and you just showed me why I needed to. Charles fired her on the spot. Security escorted her off. I touched Mom's pendant, feeling her strength settle over me. But this wasn't about one woman's prejudice. It was bigger. The MY team's audit uncovered a cesspool. Black passengers 7 times more likely to be questioned. Middle Eastern travelers flagged as suspicious. Asian customers ignored. Secret group chats, buried memos, a system built on bias. Lawrence Phillips, the HR director, had covered it up for years. The rot ran deep. The media exploded before I reached Mom's funeral. Brenda played victim in interviews. Phillips rallied middle managers to protect the brand, and Legacy's stock tanked. Pundits called it a witch hunt, but employees, flight attendants, baggage handlers, gate agents came forward. They've been silenced, punished for speaking out, that I could have stopped at Brenda, sued, and moved on. But Mom's words rang true. When you have power, fix what's broken, not just what hurts you. At a press conference, I faced the world. This isn't one incident. It's a system that rewards discrimination and punishes those who challenge it. I announced zero-tolerance policies, mandatory bias training, independent review boards, and a passenger bill of rights. Every executive who'd built or protected that system was fired. Brenda tried to hijack the mic, claiming she followed training. So you hit me because I was dressed wrong? I asked. She had nothing. Phillips was gone, others followed, and the clean-out began that we rebranded Legacy as Horizon Airways. I promoted those who'd stood up. Emily Rodriguez now runs our customer experience board. Valencia is president, and Shannon, a flight attendant who quietly did her job with grace, trains our staff. The old guard fought, sabotaged, tried buyouts. I confronted them with their own emails and recordings, forcing the board to choose progress or relevance. They chose change that a year later, at JFK for Horizon's first flight, I stood in the same seat where I'd been slapped. Passengers and employees shared their stories, how the changes rippled, reshaping not just an airline, but how people saw dignity, who got to belong. What would you do with that kind of power? Have you seen discrimination and wished you could act? Should leaders fire bad apples or rip out the roots? Like if justice means more than headlines. Subscribe if one voice can spark change. Mom said, true power isn't what you own. It's how you make the world better. She was right.